Hello again. Um, if you were watching the previous segment, it introduced you to the course and gave you an outline of the reading list and the course outline. With this segment, what I'd like to do is lay out the requirements and the evaluation procedure. If you flip to page 4 of the syllabus, you'll be able to follow along with me. As you can see, there are 4 main components to our course. There's a participation component, there is a quiz component, there is a midterm component, and there's a final exam component. So let's start out with participation. As the previous clip indicated, each week you'll be expected to participate in 2 online discussion forums. There are very specific questions that you're supposed to respond to. You can find these questions by clicking on the discussion section of eCampus, which is right underneath content. It's how you got to the course syllabus and the assignments. That will direct you to a page that has a list of discussion forum questions. The first 2 questions are due no later than this Friday by 11:59 p.m. Now, this section is worth 20% of your final grade. I don't necessarily measure in terms of the length of your response, but I do require 2 things. Most of these discussion questions are based on the Shaping America DVD series. It needs to be evident that you have watched those lessons on the DVD series and you've thought a little bit about how they fit into the context of our class. That's requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 is that you actively engage with your fellow classmates and acknowledge their opinions, state whether or not you agree or disagree with them, and basically have an online conversation. If you can do those 2 things, there really isn't any reason that everyone in this class shouldn't score 20 out of 20 points for that portion of the class. Let's go down to quizzes. Quizzes are worth 15 points over the course of the semester, 15% of your final grade. Now, you will be given 6 quizzes throughout the next 5 weeks. They're each worth 3 points. And you might be saying to yourself right now, 6 times 3 is 18, not 15. Well, it's true. If you do all 6 quizzes and you do them well, I will award you 3 points of extra credit. These quizzes have very specific due dates, and once the due date passes, the quiz will automatically turn into a 0. You can find copies of these quizzes and quiz questions by clicking on the week-to-week folders in eCampus. So for example, in week 1, if you clicked on the week 1 folder and then went to the folder entitled Assignments, there will be a copy of 2 quizzes in there. You can respond to those questions and you can upload your quiz electronically on eCampus. Now, one quick note about the quizzes. All of the responses to the quizzes are drawn from your online readings, as I had pointed out in the overview of the syllabus and the expectations in the previous video. It will direct you to a very specific page, and what I need to know when I grade these quizzes, I need to know that you read the document and you understand the document. Furthermore, I need to know that you've thought critically about the document. If it's evident to me that you've done the 2 aforementioned requirements, generally speaking, you should receive a 3 out of 3 for each one of these quizzes. The quizzes and the participation element of the class are by far and away the 2 easiest, most accessible ways to get a good grade in this class. Now, on to the midterm and the final exam. You will be given a midterm. It is worth 30 possible points. And as you can see, if you flip back to page 3 of the course syllabus, our midterm will be conducted on July 30th, 2011. What that means is you're going to have until 7:30:11 to complete this exam by the end of the day. Exams that are not completed by that time will result in a 0. Many of you may have already seen this already, but there is a review guide that will prepare you for the midterm exam. You can download it now, and you can start to consider some of the questions as you go along in watching the videos and reading the documents and reading the chapters. The one thing that I really want to emphasize about the midterm, there is a significant amount of writing. There will be writing that asks you to think about questions that we have been rolling over in the class, but there will also be a long essay question. It's important that you read the directions. It's important that you understand that this is an argumentative paper, it's an essay, and it needs an introduction, it needs a thesis statement, and it needs evidence. So what I'm getting at here is more is better. More information is better. I don't mean for you to pad that information and just give me irrelevant information, but it does need to be very clear to me that you've thought critically about the course material and you respond in kind. There will be a long essay, and then of course there will be an essay concerning the Frederick Douglass reading. So, as I pointed out in the previous video clip, it's very important that you get reading Frederick Douglass's My Bondage and My Freedom. The final exam. The final exam will look and feel a whole lot like the midterm. It's worth 5 points more than the midterm, but for all intents and purposes, it's very similar in its scope and its content. Now, like the midterm, there's a heavy component of writing in the final exam, and it'll ask you to compose a fairly lengthy essay response to a question. And in addition to the essay response, you'll also be able to respond to the Sam Patch book. Again, very similar to the midterm, there will be a review guide. There is a review guide that has already been posted in the Week 5 folder that will help you prepare for this exam. If you will flip to page 5 of the syllabus, you will see at the top of that page a grading scale. People ask me, do I grade on a curve? And the simple answer to that is no. I grade I grade right there on the grading scale. If you have specific questions regarding any of these requirements, please don't hesitate to let me know. Again, email is the easiest way to get a hold of me. I'm looking forward to working with all of you this semester. Please let me know if you have questions. It's important that we're clear and that we're concise in terms of responding to one another. Good luck the rest of the semester, and I'm very much looking forward to working with you.